you guys. Mental health check. Okay.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her.
Real talk. So I'm in my car, and today I took off work because, well, I've been struggling with my mental health. And not in that way, this like all like whatever that is on TikTok or however they put on social media. Like, I think more so for me, mental health is always going to be a struggle, and I think that's said for most people. But I came to this conclusion today that it's not about the struggle of mental health for me anymore. It's more about my coping mechanisms, because with my coping mechanisms, I was perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? I was living my best life. But then, I think COVID and quarantine has finally caught up to me. And I realized that those things that I enjoyed to do that made me smile, made me happy, and made me live for every day were essentially taken away, right? So, or I'm afraid to do them. And so I've made, like I said, today I'm going to take off from work and I'm going to do something really, really nice for myself to like get my mind right. Because I'm in transitioning when a lot of things are happening in my life right now, mentally, emotionally, and right now I need a reset, right? I need to level this nasty muckiness that's in my head out. So I am going to have a nice little day. Hopefully I can come with me. I am going to get Ethiopian food because I'm really hungry and I want to eat something delicious. If I luck up, I'm gonna go to Old Navy because I want to buy me some more workout clothes. And but if I don't do that, I'm still hoping I can still go to the gym today. And I'm gonna hang out with my friend and we're gonna have sushi for dinner, as well as we're gonna go see Venom. So fingers crossed, this is how my day goes. So right now we are off to get something to eat. They open up at 11:30. It's 12:30. Let me rush to get over there. Actually, I should probably order my food so it's ready when I get there. And then when I get there I can just eat, and then I can go to like my next destination. So I'm pretty excited about doing something with my day today. And if we don't go to the gym, that's okay too, kind of, like the whole point of this is not to feel like I'm on this tight, rigorous schedule, but really just to do things that I enjoy, love to do. And I do love going to the gym, but that is a production. And I sure as hell am not going to take this makeup off for the gym. I will go to the gym full face makeup. Funny enough, this is light makeup. You didn't even ask for all that. But anywho, I'm really, really excited about my day, and it's so beautiful today. It's in the 70s and the weather is a little bit cool. You can feel a breeze. The sun is brightly shining. And what more than on a day like this than to bring joy and enrichment to your life, right? All right, hey you guys. I'm losing a little bit of sun. But I'm pretty excited. So I finally got here. I tried to call and no one picked up, which, to be fair, is kind of typical. But I'll be like, I was really hoping to like have the food ready when I got here, but no, it's fine. We'll definitely go in. Hopefully we'll order it, unless they're closed and it's just incorrect online, which will also be a good reason why I didn't pick up. So let's just hope at least that they're open. And I'm hoping what I order, because I'm gonna get the vegetarian platter, vegetarian like vegan platter or whatever. That's pretty quick to like make, because they typically have to stew that and make that kind of in advance. So I'm really, really like fingers crossed hopefully it's good and ready to go. I'll definitely show y'all what I get in case you're not used to what Ethiopian food is, or just curious what I'm gonna eat in general. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to eating something to eat. I'm so starving. I thought it was a bakery. If we have to wait, I may check out the bakery, but we'll see. All right, see y'all in a second. All right, you guys, so there's a new development with this restaurant. First of all, I'm still hungry. That's not a good thing. So I am going to try place number 2. So pretty much I got here on time. They said from 11:30 to 2:30. It was 1. I walk up in there, dark, doors closed. I'm like, what's going on? Are they really closed? Like, maybe I'm catching them at a weird time. I call, nothing's working. So I get back in my car to like rethink what I'm gonna do. I see someone else go there, pull up. I'm like, I wonder if they'll get in. I asked them, I was like, hey, are y'all here, for the African food? And they were like, yeah. And they were like, it's closed, I can't get in there. I was like, same for me. It's closed and I couldn't get in there. They were like, then why are they accepting DoorDash? And I was like, oh, no. With that said, so restaurant number 2, I'm hungry and it's nearby and the other place is Biscuitville. Don't make me go to Biscuitville. I don't need Biscuitville. I eat there enough. So hey, wish me luck. Let's get it, let's go. Hey you guys, okay, so I'm back. I finally ate. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to not be hungry. But now I've eaten to the point of nausea. That's not great either. I shouldn't have ordered that much. I got fries and a salad. I should have just got the salad. I didn't need the fries because I just felt myself bloating as I was eating the fries, like, damn. And then I didn't even finish the salad and I put dressing over it and I'm just like, gosh. So, you know, even though it sucks, what I did learn is like now when I go to a place like this, I just get the salad and I'm full. And every so often, like my brain tells me this is what you need to eat to feel full. And then my body will be like, but we're good now. And I'm just like, dang it. I wish my brain and my stomach knew each other better. And I'm supposed to eat again later today. And I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna have to ask them to split that with me if I'm still full like this. But anyway, it's good to know. It's good to learn more about your body, and that's what I did today. Now it's 2 something. Again, way more behind schedule than I anticipated. But they gave me my food extremely quickly. I was very happy about that. So I'm really hoping that I can find me Old Navy. Let's just see how this goes. Either way, see y'all in the next scene. Bye. Hey you guys, so I am back in my car. I just came back from Old Navy and I moved because I wanted to be closer to Barnes & Nobles because I couldn't resist. No reason to be in Barnes & Nobles, but I decided to go because I'm really thinking about getting me Final Support Girl by Grady Hendrix. Like, I've been eyeing that book for a really long time, and I just love his writing. Like, he's yet to disappoint. He's yet to disappoint. Even his worst books are better than books I've completely trashed. Like, even his books where I'm just like, oh, Grady, we could have did better. It's still like, still good. But I wanted to go to Barnes & Nobles because I really have not walked into a bookstore like that, and I thought it'd just be nice to like just walk up in there, breathe those fresh books into my lungs, you know, that oxygen of fresh literature. Real talk, I'm here to get one book. We're gonna try to do an in and out game. I may bring y'all with me. The reason why I haven't been really walking out into things is because I don't have a proper case yet. And if I drop this, I'm gonna be mad. My spirit will be done. The mango dragon fruit refresher hits right. I got me some new books. So I got My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. It's by the same person who wrote The Only Good Indians. And so I'm really looking forward to reading this. I started The Only Good Indians. I didn't finish it. I just wasn't in the mood for it. But after I heard like the premise of this one, which is someone who's obsessed with like 80s slasher fix, and they feel like they're in one, and they were like, I know everything about this film. I need to get me the girl. Like, I was gonna get the final support group girl. Like, he's looking for that girl to like, or he or she, I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to like someone being like, I know everything. It has like that Scream feel, like I know everything about all the slasher films. I'll tell you how to survive. Like, I'm really looking forward to this one. This one sounds like a good time. I may go straight into this one. I feel like I'm in the mood for this. And today Halloween Kills came out, and I'm thinking about getting a subscription with Peacock just to watch it at home. Because I thought about going to the theaters, and I'm like, do I really go to the theaters for that? Or can I just chill and watch that at the house? And part of me's like, I can chill and watch that at the house. But we'll see. The other one will soon be a buddy read over at June Mermaid. Me and her have been reading through Allison Hoffman's Practical Magic series, and this is the newest book that came out called The Book of Magic, and this tells the story of the daughters from Practical Magic. Now, this is supposed to be the final book, supposed to wrap it up, and it says the novel begins in a library, the best place for a story to be conjured, when beloved aunt Jet Owens hears the Death Watch beetle and knows she has only 7 days to live. Jet is not the only one in danger. The curse is already at work. So I'm really excited about getting into this one, but we may do this one first. We'll see. I'm gonna talk to my homegirl about it, but yeah, these books sound like what I needed, because I've been struggling reading. I'm in between like 1,000 books right now. I am kind of reading Billy Summers by Stephen King, and I just can't get my mind like in it. Can't get it in it, but I did start that this week, my difficult week. So I think I'm gonna pick up Alice Hoffman, and next week I'm gonna focus on Billy Summers, because I was told it was really, really good by my friend who works at Barnes & Nobles. Fun fact about me, if you did not know or remember, I used to work at Barnes & Nobles, and I loved every minute of it. So it was really nice every time I go into a Barnes & Nobles and I'm like, I know that person. I'm like, hey, how are you? We didn't even touch the manga section, because I started limping in the Barnes & Nobles and said, let's wrap this up. Hey, you guys, this is Tamika. I'm back. So a lot of time has skipped, but enough for me to say that I started reading My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. You saw me buy that book, and I am on page 140. I have thoughts, and I wanted to get them out while I'm still thinking about it. Let me just do a quick little recap, because I don't know if I did a clear one before. So we have this girl named Jade, and she is Native American, and she stays in a small podunk town or whatever, where she feels like pretty much an outsider. However, her special skill is she knows everything about like horror movies, specifically slashers. Well, she graduated from high school, but not quite. She still needed to pass history. So what she decides to do is write an extra credit history report on essentially slashers and relating them back to films, but more so relating them to this haunting story surrounding the town, about this girl who might have been a witch, may have not been a witch. It's kind of like a Candyman thing, or more Candyman kind of a situation, where I think you can kind of like say her name and invoke her a little bit. But it also has like this Freddy Krueger feel, because like, there's like a little chant in a song that goes with like saying her name. And the whole point of the story is to like scare girls or scare kids into staying out too late and being good girls and all this other stuff, right? Or good kids. The book starts off with a pretty interesting, gruesome scene. So I'm thinking like, okay, you hit me hard with like a lot of good energy. So this is the same author who wrote The Only Good Indians, and I have started that, and it's supposed to get like kind of scary and creepy. I haven't gotten there yet. I really feel like this author takes too much time and doesn't like get to the meaty, juicy bits. And so sometimes it's a little bit like, okay, I get it. Now, what's the saving grace in this particular book, I would have to say, is at the end of every chapter you get a little bit of her extra credit homework, and you read that part, and those are always very interesting because that's when she brings in like the analysis of horror movies, the analysis of all these stories surrounding like this town's myth or whatever, or folklore. And it's just a good time. Like, she actually interviews other people who survived like this. Apparently there was like a camp sleepaway situation and all these kids were killed, and so like she like goes deep into finding out more about that. So I see how I'd say that's a really good time. Another good time is that I think there's a new girl who comes into the town, and she's like perfect. She's like, oh my gosh, this girl's the final girl. I find that to be very riveting, is her stalking of this other girl as it is right now, and just like proving her points like, yeah, she's the final girl, she's the final girl. So that's really, really fun, and that's a good time. Another thing that I really like so far, also about this book, isn't like so much of a good thing, but I just like this, how we're learning more about the character, and like, is she really trustworthy? Like, to this point where I'm just like, she loves horror movies and wants something interesting so bad. Is she the killer? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it switched up like that, I wouldn't be surprised. But what I really thought was interesting is her actual explanation on the final girl. There's another book that I was gonna get, which was the Grady Hendrix, the Final Girl Support Group, and I'm still gonna get that. I regret not getting it at the time that I got it, because I might as well just got it then. But it doesn't matter. So Final Girl Support Group, and it's always about like, Sydney Prescott from Scream is a final girl, right? Jamie Lee Curtis from the Halloween movies is a final girl. So it's always like the last person who like survives all this gruesomeness and solves the whole thing. And she feels like that person always has to be like perfect, specifically a virgin and all this other stuff, and she doesn't think she fits the profile, and she can never be a final girl. So it's very interesting, her already throwing herself out of the running, and she's the most knowledgeable of all of this. However, in Scream there was someone who was very knowledgeable, and they did make it through the first movie, but they sure enough didn't make it through they didn't make it. No, I think they made it through the first movie. They didn't make it through the second movie, but they were able to call upon stuff for him from the third movie. I honestly can't remember. He might have died in the second movie. Either way, he was my favorite character, and him being gone it took away from the humor part of Scream. And I know they're making another one, and I'm just like, I'm gonna watch it because I'm always here for Neve Campbell. Like, there's not enough of her in film. But so I am looking forward to seeing, but part of me is just like, I don't think it's gonna have that beautiful humor that some of the other characters just really bring. But anyway, we'll see. Either way, so far this book is hitting a 3 at best, because some parts just kind of be like glamour on, because Jade, the main character, is the only one we're really getting to know, and everybody else you get to know just really gets on your nerves as much as they get on her nerves. In some way, maybe that's genius writing, but like, I want to kind of care about people a little bit more, and I don't. Like, I'm just like, all these people could die. Like, I want to be like, oh no, and I'm just like, and then it's like people die mysteriously. Like, I think I would have liked to see it from the perspective of the people dying, maybe. I don't know. There's a disconnect when I read this book that I just want a little bit more of. Now, I will say, the thing that made me turn on this camera is that I had noticed that I'm on page 140. I think there was only 2 incidents of death. And I'm just like, the book's not that long. I don't have that much book left. And I'm just like, I think this is almost just under 400 pages, like 398 pages, right? Just under that. And I'm just like, I'm about to be halfway through the book. Where are the death scenes? Where's the blood? Like, you give me this girl who knows about slashers. You give me My Heart Is a Chainsaw. I want somebody to die by a chainsaw. Like, I'm just like, we just find them dead. And I'm just like, hopefully now that, you know, things have kind of ramped up a little bit more, things are like, oh, we have a problem. Like, people are noticing that there may be a problem, that I think that hopefully we'll get more more scenes, more speed. But so far, that's where I'm at in this book, and I will give you my thoughts either unless something really crazy happens or by the end. But I just want to stop there and give you my thoughts so far. Okay, I'm back again. So I thought this was the end. I'm like really tired, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the end of this chapter. But so Halloween slasher, Scream slasher. She be making references to Jaws. Would Jaws be considered a slasher? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Also, she just made a reference to... She makes more than one reference to Terminator. Like, I see it, but I'm like, is Terminator like a slasher? Like, now I'm starting to wonder, what's a slasher? Like, she's got me like redefining the whole genre now, because I'm just like, I expected a little bit more like Can't Sleep Away. Can't Sleep Away slasher for sure. And if you've not seen Can't Sleep Away, oh, you're in for a treat. Like, I watched all 3 of those movies. I think there might be 4 or 5. As far as I know, there's 3. I've seen 3. I should rewatch those. But yeah, Can't Sleep Away. Oh, a cult classic. But yeah, that makes sense. Prom Night, Halloween, Jason, slashers, Candyman, slasher. But Jaws and Terminator? I don't know. I just wanted y'all's thoughts on that. I'm gonna get back to reading. I'm getting really tired. I'll see how the next. Okay, I can't believe I'm back here again. I am so tired. I'm so tired. Okay, so this is the issue that I'm having. So we have another situation where there's another murder, and I finally have her name now because I couldn't remember it. Her name is Letha, and apparently she's black. As a oldest of them all, black, looks like a model from a magazine. Makes sense. And she's discovered like another dead body, and Jade just overhears it. And she's like, of course she did. But like, I say all this to say like, and he described like what he found and stuff, and he tells her story, and I'm just like, another disconnect. I really hate that I'm finding out what's happening through hearsay, as opposed to, I wish that Jade was just put in situations where at least every once in a blue moon she kind of saw it happen. But yeah, everything that happens in this book is hearsay, and so it really is like disconnect as a reader to like sympathize or like feel any feelings about what's happening in this story, because it's like a story telling another story by someone else telling the story, and it just is like, But we're gonna keep going, because now we're at the point where Jade has finally confronted Letha Mondragon, I think is her name, and pretty much is, you know, letting her know like, I'm gonna be like your answers person, you know, the one who's gonna train you up, kind of a thing. And she's like, wait, what? Come in. So this, I'm enjoying her introducing herself to this girl who has no idea who she is, has no idea what she's talking about, because right now everybody's thinking it's a bear, which she referenced the movie Grizzly. I'm really excited about where we're at now that we've met people. Now we can like get some traction in the book. as opposed to her kind of like just sneaking around through this entire time, which has just been so dry for me. But hopefully this will be the last time I check in. I think I'm done. Like, I really need to get some sleep. Hey, you guys. So this is a brand new day. Same location. But I wanted to commemorate I just got back home and I just got through seeing for my very first time Wicked. Oh, it was so good. And I'm so glad I didn't know how it ended, because I like teared up on the inside when I found out how it ended, because I was like, no. But I loved it so very much. I didn't realize how political it was, and I just thought it was just so interesting when the wizard was talking about like truce, and you know how truths aren't actually real. Truths are just what everyone agrees upon, kind of a thing. And he says, I know a whole bunch of truths that aren't real. It's called history. And there was something about it was just so weird. I was just like, what? But like they were listening. They were trying to put little gems up in there. I was like, okay, not today. But I really loved it. I remember some of the music, but I can see why people love all of the music. So I may listen to the soundtrack tomorrow when I wake up, just get a spruce to my day. I got Popular Like Me. Like, that is in my lore. And I just loved the costume design, the set design, the dance numbers, choreography. Everyone did such an amazing job. I loved how the flying monkeys were able to morph the bodies the way that they did. I thought it was so cool to find out that some of the flying monkeys were also some of the people who played students and was other dancers, because I was like, man, this is a big ass cast. And it was really cool to see people playing multiple parts, and just seeing just how talented they are. Oh, I also got this one thing that I wanted to commemorate. And honestly, this video is just for me to kind of just remember going and loving it so much. And I went with a friend, and I went like on a whim, because I wasn't gonna go because I was like, oh, it costs too much money. But I said, I'm gonna do something out of the ordinary, something to get me excited and looking forward to it. And it was great. Everybody had to wear their masks. Everyone was really respectful and kind. And I just really loved it. To commemorate, I got my mom a t-shirt, and I got myself this mug. Let me see if I can get it so that yeah, there you go, so you can see a little bit better. Isn't that cute? And that's like the Emerald City. And like it's a little bit 3D, you can like actually touch it. I like that, sorry. And then, yeah, you can see, this is wicked. I love that. On the inside, one short day, I think is what it says. On the other side it says, yeah. So yes, I'm so excited about having my mug, and look how big it is. It's so big. So my matcha lattes are like, can't wait, boo. Officially halfway through this book. If this book gets a 3 out of 5 stars, it's hashtag winning, because this book is a chore. I didn't know what it was that was bothering me about this book, and then I read some other reviews, and like other people were saying, I was like, yeah, that's that feeling I'm getting. And it's one of those things where, like I said, you're not, at this point, I don't know what's real and what's not real, and it's taking me out of the story. I'm like, are there murders? I'm gonna be really disappointed at this point. Like, I was gonna be really excited if come to find out the main character is the murderer, and she is making this up to like be, you know, to bring happiness to her life in such a way. Like, she thought her life was boring, or she was upset, and so she created this murderer in her head so she could have this happen in her life. But I don't think she's the murderer. And I'm starting to wonder if there is even a murderer, and I'm gonna be really disappointed if it's like really just all in her head and she kind of made it up. And like there's logical explanations for everything, but they keep pushing the logical explanation of everything so often. There has to be a murderer. So I would say it takes about halfway through the book. Some people say 2/3 of the book, which I can also see. I haven't gotten to 2/3 of the book. I'm at halfway of the book. But yeah, like halfway through the book finally kind of has a plot, because it's so in Jade's head that you're just like, I don't know what's happening anymore. Do I even care? Like, because they keep talking about like her past and abuse and all this other stuff. And once they started doing that, you just like really lose interest. Like, not in a sense that having this character development matters, but it's just like we keep bringing it up and I'm like, okay, like, what are we gonna do with that? We're gonna explore more. I thought we had a murderer. I thought that we had like possibly a ghost. Like, let's explore the things that make you want to show up to this book. But it's like My Heart is a Chainsaw. I'm not quite sure why it's titled this now. Hopefully that'll come to me. But Stephen Graham Jones, this is my third attempt at his writing. This one, out of all 3 books that I've touched, I'm liking this one the most. He has a great way of writing like gruesome scenes and stuff, and he has a great way of writing dialogue if you love dialogue, but his plot takes too long. Like, he takes too long to like, okay, get to the point. I finally completed My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars. It barely got that 3. Like, it was tap dancing on a 2 so hard. There are trigger warnings of attempted suicide, depression, sexual abuse, things like that. So if you have no interest or you're triggered by that, it's not overwhelming, but it's enough to like, you know, possibly be enough of a trigger. You should know. At the beginning of this book, it will grab you. The reason why, first book, we get our first kill and it's like, yes. You're like, this is the energy I'm hoping I'm going for the whole book. You don't get that energy for the whole book. I read a review that once said that it takes about 2/3 the way through the book for it to pick up, and I honestly couldn't disagree with it. You get the initial kill, which allows for our main character Jade to like go spiraling down this journey of, oh my gosh, we're gonna have a slasher situation and I'm gonna have to pull out all my knowledge to save this town. And a new girl comes. Ironically, there's a new girl and she immediately is like, oh, she's the perfect archetype of the final girl, you know? And so she starts observing her and she just, everything that she envisions the final girl to do and be, this girl kind of embodies it, to being the one who like discovers like first bodies and all this other stuff. It's crazy. And she's telling people like, hey, we have a slasher, we have this, and they're like, it's a bear. And she was like, classic slasher movie, you know what I'm saying? The adults and the police are always useless. It's just like so many different cool things that I did love that the author did with modernizing. He really took time to like modernize slasher films, but what he really did was take the archetype of a final girl and turn it on its head. And I thought that that was really fun, because one thing that is a constant theme throughout the book is that Jade feels as though she could never be the final girl due to something that happened in her past, which haunts her, and eventually she comes to terms with by, you know, the end of the book, which for us the reader is happy for her, but maybe not the greatest thing for her by the end of the book. With that said, I thought this was a standalone, and come to find out, I think it's part of a duology. I did not like the way it ended. It ended kind of abruptly, but knowing that it's duology, I'm like, okay. But reading the synopsis of the second book, I think we could have wrapped this one up just a little bit more like you would in a movie. And he didn't do that. And part of me is like, oh, that's brilliant. And then part of me is like, it's kind of off tone. Like, you forced me to go through everything else at the end of the film. No matter what happens, there's always a nice wrap up at the end. And then maybe you see like a hand come through like the grass or something like that, or you see like the mask picked back up or something. Like, there's always something that says, oh, something next is gonna happen. But this one ends in a way that's just lackluster and dry and uninspired. Would I recommend it? If you're not into slasher films or horror movies, this whole book is a love letter to that, an homage to that. And so if you plan on seeing any movies, you're gonna be ruined because it's a crap ton of spoilers on how a whole ton of movies end. Jaws, Scream, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, Halloween, and they will ruin every film for you. So I wouldn't read it if you plan on watching stuff. But if you don't care, you're never gonna watch it, then I highly recommend, go ahead and go for this book. It won't spoil you. Another thing is if you like something that's not too scary, there is gore in this book, but it happens in such minute doses that it's the only thing that kept me awake at one point. Like, oh, thank goodness. Okay, we have a moment here. I think the issue that I had most with this book was pacing. The chapters were entirely way too long. Still a 3 out of 5 stars. If you don't like horror, I would say give this a hard pass because I don't really think it's gonna speak to any part of you. But if you like horror movies and you have a good time with it, I would say give it a chance. Would I say buy it? No, but if you can get it from the library, I think it's a good time. So that concludes my review of My Heart is a Chainsaw. I hope you enjoyed my little vlog surrounding this. We'll be reading the manga censor that I got from my Manga Spice Cafe box. So I am looking forward to getting into this one. And how many books did you read in October? And as always, mwah, till next time, bye. Forgive my nail, I broke it.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa.